Hi everyone, it's a lovely sunny day here, and today I want to talk to you about one of my favourite subjects and things in life, and that's synchronicities. I love synchronicities. I just love how it works and how life seems to talk to me through them, and even my dad gets into synchronicities. Hi Dad. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to you and then I'm going to cut this section into two, so that the second half I'm going to use examples and explain kind of step by step how to do it and what you want to look out for. But first of all, what are synchronicities? Well, Carl Jung originally coined the phrase, and how he put it was actual meaningful coincidences. Because if you really love coincidences and you can start looking for them, then you'll find that they're all over the place. And what he used the phrase kind of a causal relationship of events, which meant that technically, why would any of them ever connect? And yet they all seem to. And it would be that there would be one subjective and one objective event. So what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is that if something happens to us and then somehow there is something else that connects in with it. So a really good example of this is that if you are looking for a specific thing and you can't find it, and just later on in the day that thing turns up. Or if you're thinking about somebody and then later on in the day, or even a few minutes later, they call or they message you or something like that. That's all about synchronicities. Now within synchronicities, there are a group of people who will say, well, they're just coincidences. And then there's another group of people who would call it the red car syndrome. I don't know if you've heard of that, but have you ever done it? I know I have. I drive a Skoda at the moment, and until I was driving the car I've got, I didn't realise how many of them were in existence. And same with when I was pregnant all of those years ago. It wasn't until I was pregnant that I started noticing all the other pregnant women around me, and it's called the red car syndrome. And it is just because until we've got something on and it's in our awareness that we don't start to notice it. Now within all of those theories, I can see truth. So sometimes it's also about recognising the truth in all of those things and then choosing what you want to do about it. And for me, I love the magic of synchronicities. I really do. And therefore, I choose to use them every day in my life. And I'm going to show you about that later, because sometimes it's easier to cut these recordings in half. So how would we think about what synchronicities are? How we'd think about it is sometimes you get numbers. So one of the things that we know about the synchronicities is that when you start getting into your soul flow. What do we mean by soul flow, Michelle? Well, what I mean by soul flow is when we are aligned, in alignment with our true purpose. So if we're supposed to be doing something, if our soul is saying, yes, that's the right thing to do, it will start to give us synchronicities to almost like lead us in a way. Now, sometimes one would argue that where you get led isn't necessarily where you thought you were going or where you wanted to go. And obviously that's the difference between the soul and the ego. But what I know is that if my soul is suggesting I go places, then it will set up almost a stepping stones of events, so that if I listen and if I hear, then I can be guided that way. And part of what I do with that is I ask my universe, I ask my source, I ask my soul for this kind of conversation, so that then my whole life is a conversation with myself, without talking to myself, but I do that anyway. Anyway, so numbers. We can get loads of numbers showing up. The really normal ones are 111, 222, 333. And as I say, somebody's showing up after you've been talking about them or thinking about them. And the other one that I really, really love is when you're asking the universe a question and then somebody else randomly goes and answers it in a totally different conversation. I love that. The other way that I get synchronicities is through things like music on the radio. I get signs, as in literal, like road signs. They're hysterical sometimes. They're really good fun. I get all sorts of wonderful ways. And if you're open to it, it makes life really, really good fun. It really does. Okay. That's 5 minutes now, so I'm going to leave that there. And if you're interested in knowing more about it, then I'll do another. Okay, bye.